So are both players here, Howard and Sunship?
I don't think Howard's here. I'm not sure.
Okay. I would love if he was here. I would immediately ask, why did we play this 3-4 instead of this 3-4?
You try to do the review for both though, because he will watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to do the review, but when they're here, I like to ask them why they did something.
Yeah, I know.
Because this gives Black an approach with support, and this one does not. So I am very curious. Because we are almost single digit Q. We gotta start thinking about this. This is unnecessary. Just defend your corner and move on. Like you can go here, you can attach. Just defense first. I like to teach my students like how to move without having weak groups until necessary. So you only want to have like one weak group at a time until stronger than 5Q. And then you only in specific scenarios do you get more than one weak group. So here it's like, how are you going to have time to do anything else if you have a weak group right here? So why not just settle the weak group so you can do whatever you want later? But if you go here, okay, but now let's say I push you here and try to unsettle, and then jump. Now you have two problems. And that's just not fun. So it's very easy for the game to become more complicated than you can handle if you are not settling things. Okay, there's no reason to give the slide just here, and then jump to keep up the pressure. Jump for defense because there's a stone on both sides. If you're worried about the 3-3, then you can defend right here while peeping the base. If not, then you can go there and then pincer. And if you don't want to attack, then you can go play a big move now. But I would kick here because you already have a pincer right here, so you want to keep them cramped. And giving your opponent the slide. I don't know why everyone likes this one. This one is okay, I guess, because they're gonna slide and immediately fix it. That's fine. But giving your opponent this comfortable 2-space plus slide on your side of the board, I feel like is way too nice. This is giving your opponent a perfect base on your side of the board. I think it's just too good for Black. Probably just approach. The wedge is kind of an old-fashioned move. It's fine until single digit Q, so it's not like it's a mistake. We should be attacking probably though, or at least asking how he's going to defend. But I think in modern play, we just approach because this used to be fine. It's like, oh, BI for a base, yeah. But now the modern idea is we're giving our opponent choices and letting them dictate what we're going to do. So we're letting our opponent dictate the game, and that's considered not as good. This is good for defense. I like the this one is good because even though it gives white a 1-space jump and it's not super pressure, it gives you territory in Sente, and then you can go back and defend this, like maybe here or something, and start building the top side. I think that would be a good combination. This is big, but weak groups first, and also top side is more open. Here, same reason, 2-space is okay. But AI likes 4-space, so I don't know. Maybe 4-space is okay. As long as you're not doing 3-space or 2-space, that's too slow. But AI likes 4-space, but old theory would suggest that this is definitely the move, and then you get to attack. Simply because it's 2 spaces away, so this isn't going to affect it as much, but I don't know. Modern theory is a little bit different. I don't like that we're tanuking weak groups. This is a good way to die and lose the game. So just 3-3, and then maybe I don't know if you know this one. Probably you don't know this one. But if you study the modern Josekis, then this shape is something that you will know. Otherwise, slide and then run away. I mean, just play defense. I think ignoring weak groups. Usually there's two types of players that I see that ignore weak groups at this level. One is the greedy player who's like, defending's too slow, so I'm just going to get all the points. And then if their opponent kills them, they lose. But if their opponent doesn't kill them, they win. But that's also giving your opponent control of the result, which I don't like. So I think it's very unreliable. And then there's the other who's like, I don't know how to defend, so I'm going to just Tanuki. Both of those, I don't like either of those ideas. Just because you don't know how to defend doesn't mean you shouldn't. You just got to learn, and you should try something. And on the flip side, if you're saying that I'm going to just be greedy and get all the points, well, now it's up to your opponent on if they can punish or not. And it's annoying to your opponent for sure. It's definitely annoying to white because now all the pressure's on him to, make profit from this. But it's also giving control to your opponent, and I prefer having control of the game. If I was going to sacrifice this stone and use it as Aji, I would put maximum pressure on this stone and say, kill me. I'm going to get all the points. And then maybe activate this Aji later. So this would be how I would play it if I was going to sacrifice a stone. However, I think it requires a lot of judgment and reading to do this, and I don't think we've developed that by 11Q yet. So I think we need good habits right now. Just learn how to defend our weak groups first, then we can learn when not to defend the weak groups. So this one is just too small. This is okay. Yeah, shoulder hit develops the top side, but technically we're still invadable. Like, I don't even know if this is Sente, because we already have a Knight's move. So what if I just invade? Oh, he did. I would detach. Probably not necessary to make a Ko. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Just taking knowledge. Uh-oh! Just taking knowledge for both. Boop. 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 Dead. Okay, okay. I'm going to recommend this, and this will be row. Where is it? Where's the pigs? Where's my pigs mouse on here? I think it's somewhere in here. I think they changed the names on me. There it is, little pig snout right there. There, I see. I was reading on the left, but yeah, little pig, large pig, and bit 4. So rows 46 through 48. There's the link to that. That goes over some life and death problems that can come out from the 3/3. It's technically single digit Q. So again, it's understandable that you don't know this yet. But this is something you're going to have to learn at single digit Q, is the life and death for the 3/3 stuff. It's complex, but it's important. This one has more life options, but this gets into this, which hopefully you'll study from there. There is a reason that this is a Ko. There is a reason that this is a Ko. It's because of the pig shapes. But yeah, both players missing a life and death problem. It's very important because it can be game deciding instantly, and both players are missing it. So just make sure you learn it. Just more knowledge to learn. Okay, peep to reduce. I can dig it, but we didn't defend the stone. The whole reason we let black play here, or the whole reason that black played here, was to sacrifice the stone. So we kind of need to keep it dead, either here to kill or here if we think it's already dead. But I think we need to keep this dead to make up for the fact that black got this area. So I think this is greedy. Because if I just activate this now and save the stone, well, now you lose all the points and I got to Tanuki. And that's just not a good exchange for me. I think I like this. If you're going to cut, right? Please cut. Oh, yeah. I really like this for black because white has a weak group with one eye and a floating group in black's area. This feels very nice for black. Black is not cuttable because second line cut, which we should be able to read. So this is actually a mistake that's below 11Q, because second line cuts and third line cuts are from 9x9 and 13x13. So we should know that by this level. So if you're defending this cut, my question to you is, okay, where was the cut? And let's push and then cut. So I'm assuming you saw the Atari, but if you read one more move, then you're perfectly fine. So you actually defended a cut that didn't exist. And I think this shape should be simple enough that we can read it. So I think spend a little more time reading the cuts, and make sure you read them very thoroughly, because you're losing an entire move to defend something. You want to make sure that you're actually defending something that exists. So find any way that you can to make it not work, so that way you don't have to lose your turn. Like a whole move is very big. So this is a very slow move, especially since our opponent had such a powerful, such a painful cut right here. So this would have been very nice for black. But instead, we fixed the cut that didn't exist, and now our opponent has the time to fix their cut, and now they only have one weak group, which is a lot easier to handle than two. So black missed a really big chance right here. We are coming back to this, and I actually really don't like this. This is where I get into habits again, which I said in the last review that 9Q to 7Q is habits. We have, as white, we Tanuki'd that corner, okay? So my question is, if you Tanuki the corner, that must mean that you assume it's alive. If it's not alive, why are we Tanukiing? Okay, so if you come back to it, then why are you defending a group that's alive? And if you think it's not alive, then why did you Tanuki it in the first place? So here is consistency of thinking. That's the mistake. Yeah, and black missed the chance to kill this corner, which is quite big. Okay. I like that you're just killing stone, but this is the way to do it because this is where the connections are. There is still Aji for life in here, so I understand it, but this one's just easier for black. Maybe you also have this, but I don't know if. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. If you saw this, then you're right. But there's also this. But then this. And this. I think it's okay for white. I think it's okay for white. Okay. If you saw that, then you're fine. This is bad. Don't fix your opponent's shape. It's just bumping your own head. You're losing liberties. You're making your opponent stronger. This is Aji Keshi. So it's really, really helpful to your opponent. So this is a negative value. And we want to get rid of all the negative value moves that we can. We always want to be making positive value. So here, my question to you is, why are we even playing this area? Like, what's the point? Just because it's Sente doesn't mean it's good. It's actually better to leave Aji for when we want to play in that area, because when we play in an area, we want to use Aji to do our job. We learn this. I teach this at single digit Q, so it's reasonable that you don't know it just yet, and that's fine. But if you are fixing stuff, single digit Q will be harder for you. If you leave it until you learn how to use it, then you will have the opportunity to play stronger moves in the future. But at the very least, you need to not fix Aji without a very good reason. Because even though you can't see all the moves now, you will soon. You're almost single digit Q. You're going to start learning how to use Aji soon. So don't fix your opponent just because it's Sente. If you don't get some good value for it, if it doesn't help your goal of the turn, defense, offense, or big move, then do not fix Aji. It's very, very good for your opponent. I don't understand why we're not cutting. So sunship, you are here, yeah? Did you see this cut?
About 20 moves later. Yeah. But
okay.
I didn't actually make it.
Gotcha. So the most important thing in middle game to see at double digit Q is bases and cuts. Do groups have bases? Are groups cuttable? Those are the only two things you should be focusing on for attack and defense for the entirety of double digit Q. Everything else is irrelevant. There are some ways to like easily gain profit and stuff, but if you don't know those two things, you don't understand middle game. Because bases and cuts are the foundation of attack and defense. Everything is built upon that to gain profit by threatening cutting points or taking the base so I can chase for profit. Everything, all the strategies are built on those two things. So at double digit Qs, it's very, very important for you to understand bases and cutting points in middle game for weaknesses, for attack and defense. So I do see that you're playing big moves. So you're good at big moves, but you've got to train your eyes to see attack and defense as well. Because you have to be able to play attack and defense and big move in order to be a strong player. You need all three categories, not just big moves. So I think this is something that you can improve on is in your games, look for times that your opponent had cutting points or that you had cutting points and you didn't see it. Look for times your opponent missed life and death. Look for times that your opponent's on your side of the board without any ice space. That's no ice space, right? So how many times could you attack your opponent in your games? And then I just want you to start attacking them. You're going to do it wrong and it's fine, but that's how you learn. You have to start attacking and then you can do game reviews and people can show you, and then you learn how to attack better and then you're a strong attacker. But until you attack poorly, you can't attack greatly. But if you're not attacking at all, you're never going to learn how to. So I want you to identify baseless groups and cutting points and to start trying it. Start trying the attack and then review and learn. But don't run away from don't just ignore the cutting points. This is such a big cutting point. I think that's good enough for this game. I think this is a good move to stop on. So hopefully both players found that helpful.
Yeah, thanks.